What's going on with the folks, man? I'd like to welcome you to another segment of DT-Magnus, man. Peace and pugilism to everybody, man. Pound for pound, Canelo, Gary, man, special. What it do? What the business in, man? Shout out to everybody in the chat. George, what it do, man? Los, what it do? Banks, what it do? Ronald Finkley, what it do? Welcome to the show, man. What's going on? What's going down? It's nothing but the profound the sounds of me and Myron Magnus. What it do, man? What's going on, Myron? What it be like?
Everything's going on in the motherfucking world of boxing right now. What's going on? Is that a rhetorical question, DT3?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on? We got Gary Russell getting at these motherfuckers' necks. We got Canelo saying, oh no, my friend. Oh no, my friend. You owe me 80 million for fights I haven't fought yet. All that shit is going on. Come on, man.
Evidently, Canelo is suing DAZN. He wants that money. Who are they gonna get for Canelo to make up for that extra, what, 35 million?
Premium? They need premium fighters. Now, in an article I read, and shout out to IBFP, he said the premium fighters they expecting is something like Jorge Masvidal, who called out Canelo, who would like to do that, and also somebody named Khabib. But I think that was, people need to read between the lines. I think that really means somebody with strong backing from a strong platform.
And who do you think?
Jamal Charlo. You got PBC, who has Fox, and who else? Showtime behind him. See, this is what I fucked up. Canelo got the 365 million. And he's done his due diligence to earn that type of contract. But he has to work through, as the young man he was, has to work through to earn that contract. We in the era of what have you done for me lately? Ooh, you bum. Okay? And for Canelo not to be called a goddamn bum, unfortunately, he has to fight the likes of Jamal Charlo. Why Jamal Charlo specifically and others like him? Because they have other major platforms supporting them with money. And DAZN is here to conquer. I'm not saying they will, but they need proper market shares of the other proper market shares, pieces of pie that these other major platforms like Top Rank with ESPN, PN, and the PBC with Showtime and Fox have. They need a part of that market share. So Canelo Alvarez fighting people on the likes of Yildirim, Rocky Fielding, even if you want to throw Danny Jacobs in there, or even, unfortunately, who I think would be a great fight for him, Boo Boo Andre in there, that he haven't fought yet, those are still the zone fighters. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. They need fighters. The zone need Canelo Alvarez to be that fucking assassin. Mm. They need him to be the assassin that takes the market share from the other. Okay, DoorDash, I'll be at the door right now in a minute. Hold on, I'm going live on YouTube. I'll be right there in 2 seconds.
DoorDash has no filter for live stream.
DoorDash has no filter for YouTube. I'll be back, people.
But
hold on one second.
Check this out. With that being said, it's like, why didn't Canelo stay at light heavyweight? Since they had an issue finding him a decent opponent, why didn't he just stay at light heavyweight, maybe fight a better Biev or a Bivol? I mean, come on now.
To go raw?
Number 3. He's number 3 as a light heavyweight. He's ranked number 3 by top rank as a light heavyweight. He's only fought once at light heavyweight, and he's ranked top, and he's number 3. He's not even a champion at light heavyweight.
Don't get me in trouble right now, but all I'm saying is there's some dangerous motherfuckers.
He's number 3. He's not even a champion at light heavyweight.
I got it on the laptop. There's some dangerous cats up in there.
I just don't see why he would be ranked in the top 10 as a light heavyweight, period. He's only fought there once. I mean, he really only fought at 68 once.
Break it down to him. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
No problem. He's only fought at 68 one time, and that's how much I checked out. Rocky Fielding, and as far as I'm concerned, Rocky Fielding hasn't really done too much since that fight. Now, don't get me wrong, Canelo is still a great fighter. He's still done things in the sport of boxing. But for him to be suing the zone for not getting for getting lackluster fights when there are top caliber opponents that he could be fighting at this particular time in his career, and yet still he hasn't taken that initiative to fight any of these top dudes, any of these top guys. He beat a guy ranked number 1 at 175, right? But he didn't stay at 175. He didn't stay and fight the top guys at 175. He's suing them for basically not being able to get him an opponent. Not being able to get him a top caliber opponent. Based on what Canelo is saying, he wanted a top fight. He didn't care who the top fight was. Particularly, basically, it could have been he didn't say what weight class. He didn't say what weight class. So I'm thinking you could have put him in there with a Bivol. You could have put him in there with a better Biev. You could have put him in there with a Jamal Charlo. You could have put him in there with a Colin Smith. You could have put him in there with some top guys that people were willing to pay good money to see him fight.
But you know what? It didn't happen. Put him in there. You got to put him in there with people that Americans are willing to watch and see him fight.
That's true too, but
that's the bottom line.
But what American would want to see him fight better Biev though? What American would want to see that fight?
Every American that don't know better Biev.
Very true.
It's called Dads in USA, bro.
And Better Biev is a top ranked fighter. Am I correct?
Yeah, but he's only known in where?
In Europe, in Russia.
And if he is a top rank, that's even better. That's good. That's good for him. But he ain't known here in America like that. So that, unfortunately, you know, would be a premium fighter for Canelo Alvarez in this situation. Somebody who really isn't as good as he is, and this is in respect to Canelo Alvarez. Somebody who isn't as good as he is, but have the hype machine behind them.
That's why he got to fight somebody like a Jamal Charlo or a Boo Boo Andrade, because they have a machine behind them to where it will generate a lucrative amount of income for both fighters and both promotional companies. So it makes those fights make perfect sense. My thing is, who is really not trying to make these fights happen? Is it really the fighters, or is it these promotional companies, or is it one particular promoter? Who is really holding up these fights?
I agree with you 100% till you said Boo Boo Andre.
Right.
So here's the other thing, other look at that. Because your boy Boo Boo Andre is the zone fighter, along with Canelo Alvarez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs is the zone fighter, along with Canelo Alvarez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the zone is not trying to water down or reduce their value in the fight that they do have on contract. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, with giving Canelo the fights that he needs to bring in the money that they expected him to bring in.
Right.
But he can't do that with like negating the talent factor of the fighters all on the zone. Their property, their work still has to be up there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if he don't wipe through all of them and reduce their fucking their
worth.
Yes, their worth, then that hurts the zone too.
Mm.
But at the same time, everybody wants to see the Boo Boo Andre fight. And Boo Boo Andre could probably galvanize quite a bit of people for that. A lot of people want to see that. The PBC, respectfully speaking, for the PBC people, the PBC people probably don't want to see that because they're pushing who? Charlo. So you got two different sides pushing against each other. Say who should this, who should have this, who should have that, who should Canelo fight, and all that. And Canelo's in the middle doing what? Soaking all this shit up, getting his head big as fuck. I'm Guadalajarian Canelo Alvarez, the baby born Guadalajarian he is, head getting all blown up off this shit, and he still has to show and prove that he deserves that, in my respect.
My thing is what is the big issue with these promoters coming together and making these fights, in a sense, some of the biggest fights that we could ever see in this time in boxing? I mean, if Don King and Bob Arum, and we all know Don King is probably one of the most quick to rob you, get over on you individuals that we know in boxing. If
that's been we gonna shit on Don King. Yeah,
I don't want to shit on Don King, but we know Don King has the greatest reputation in boxing.
That's been advertised. Well, shit. Canelo just threw a goddamn $280 million lawsuit, the biggest of all time.
Right.
The Zone and De La Hoya.
Right.
And Don King never had a lawsuit that fucking big. Right? So let's not look. I get what they're saying with knocking Don King, but he got the fights you wanted to get.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did make the fights.
Say Tyson and all that, even they were young motherfuckers who burned through their money like cretins. We, you know what I mean? Still, they all grown men. But I'm with you. I mean, who can like do that right now?
Let's see. Loke says the Zone wants Canelo to fight a big name, not a top boxer like Masvidal, Logan Paul, LeBron James, or even an African lion just for viewership.
No, he needs to fight an American.
A top American fighter.
A top American fighter. It don't matter if whether he's Hispanic, Latino, Black, or whatever. He needs to fight a top American fighter that is a part of the other two major
promotional companies.
Bingo! This is what the Zone is talking about when they're talking about premium opponents. So people, read between the fucking lines. The Zone is here to try to snatch the market share from the other fighters, the other companies. How fuck retarded can you see that? And Canelo, with all these suits around him, gotta know this is what they wanted him to do. And if they didn't know that, the goddamn, it wasn't just Oscar on the coke.
Mm-hmm.
Part of
All
my.
right, we gonna see who
It's real motherfucking talk.
we're gonna see all the
Hit the like button.
Top Rank don't have a lot of top high caliber middleweights.
It don't matter. Middleweight, super middleweight, what they got?
Top Rank is known for having Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Vasily Lomachenko, Conlon, Shakur Stevenson, Jose Pedraza, Nonito Donaire, Gamboa.
But you said they got Dimitri Bivol, right?
Yep, they do have Bivol. Top Rank do have Bivol.
Top Rank. So then there again, you got cross promotion, cross marketing from two big entities.
And Bivol did say that he has no problem with coming down to 68. He said he could make 68 easy.
He said, so what he wants, this is what the zone wants. The zone wants Canelo to alleviate and eliminate the competition that Top Rank and PBC has, so they can solidify the zone in that area. This, we're talking business.
Mm-hmm. Big
right?
business. Well, Raiders.
We're talking big bank eats little bank, motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. Well, Raider says Bivol is with Matchroom. You know, that really makes the argument a lot more towards Canelo. If Canelo been trying to fight the top dudes, and he's saying that Matchroom and DAZN have not been trying to make the big fights happen for him. And Bivol and Canelo is a big fight to make. Bivol has came forth and stated that he has no issue with coming down to 168 to fighting Canelo if Canelo doesn't want to stay at 75 and fight. So I think if what you're saying is correct, Ryder, if he is on Matchroom, it should be no reason why we should not have seen or heard of a Bivol Canelo fight in the works or in the workings right now.
Bingo!
That's what we're saying. That's really what we're saying. If these guys are on Matchroom, right?
If with Matchroom like DT3, the Boom Man just said, he just destroyed your argument through the back door, because that means that fight should have been planned out already. Again, Bivol is not big in America, and it's called DAZN USA.
Right.
Okay. I agree with you 100% on that. But DAZN is looking for the market share in the United States, North America, South America. That's what DAZN is looking for. That was DAZN was betting and giving Canelo Alvarez $365 million to think that he could bring them the North American and South American fans. 1 million fans isn't good enough for Canelo Alvarez. Bringing $1 million, 1 million pay-per-views ain't good enough for Canelo Alvarez. If you're going to call yourself pound for pound the greatest fighter in the world.
Okay, so I'm going to throw some names out there for all those who's tripping on Matchroom, right? Let's throw out some Matchroom boxers. See, I love how we can do this right here. Okay, we got Nikita Alby, who's an American fighter. Who knows who's that is? He's a middleweight guy. Nikita Alby. They got Demetrius Andrade, who's a middleweight fighter.
Come on, what's up, champ?
Jake Ball, who's a light heavyweight fighter. Dimitri Bivol, light heavyweight. Kell Brook, light middleweight. All they got is light middleweights. Ted Chessman, Kieran Conway.
So look, let me ask you this. When Canelo was at 154, who did he fight? Was that Amir Khan?
Yeah.
Why did Canelo, you know how they say he outpriced themselves? Why did Canelo outweight himself? Doing all that goddamn weight training and shit.
They don't.
Did Canelo outweight himself? Would it be easier for Canelo to get the fights that DAZN wanted if he stayed within the 154 range? Up or down?
What is up with this with Mason? He's saying they couldn't afford it. How could they not afford Bivol?
No, Boone, I'm asking you.
Oh, what was the question? What was the question again?
If Canelo stayed within 154, give or take, up or down, would we be having this situation right now?
No, not at 54. Some dogs at 54, and most of the dogs at 54 is the PBC side, so it shouldn't be no issue with him trying to fight a top guy at 54 or 160. For real, because there's a lot of good fighters at 154
or and 147. If he stayed there, why did he weigh himself out so much?
Because I don't think he wanted to. I don't think he wanted to stay at 47. I think for one, it was too much of a weight drain at 47. I can give him that reason for 47. 54, not so much. I do feel like he weighed himself out for 54. 47, I think that's a weight drain for Canelo. But 54, I think he could have stayed at 54 a little bit longer and fought at 54, fought some top dogs at 54, moved up to 160, fought all the top dogs at 160. Because he did not fight all the top dogs at 160. He didn't do it. He fought one here, one there, one here, one there, one there.
Exactly, and at 154, when he fought Mayweather, all I remember is Mayweather had looked like it was eye to eye and may had a half an inch on him. Do you remember that from the eye to eye?
Yeah.
Mayweather had a half an inch on Canelo, so he should have stayed right there at 154, 160. So the question is, what made Canelo want to go up to 175?
Well, probably because I feel like this. The fights that he took, and I'm going to say this, the fights that he took at 68 and 75, to me, I'm not really that excited about the fight. He only fought once at 68, and that was what, Fielding? Then he fights one time at 75, and that was what, basically a broken down Kovalev.
Okay.
And they pretty much, you can arguably say that fight was fixed. He took a dive. Like, that fight was not really that was a lackluster fight. Because honestly, in my opinion, Anthony Yarde is bigger than Canelo.
No, it ain't your opinion. That's a fact.
I think Yarde is way bigger than Canelo.
His natural body structure and theology is bigger than Canelo's. That's
right. So I feel like there's no way that Canelo, the way he made that fight look and the way Yarde, because I watched both those fights. And if you really look at both those fights, it's like
Canelo looked fat in that fight. Right.
I find it very hard to believe that Canelo hits harder than Yarde like that. Like, you see Canelo was swinging for the fences to really try to take Kovalev out. And I saw Anthony Yarde hitting Kovalev with little short shit, and Kovalev was like, I don't want none of that shit. And you could tell Yarde wasn't hitting with his full strength. So if Yarde wasn't hitting Kovalev with his full might and his full strength, I think, and he wasn't living up to his full potential, I think Kovalev could have lost that fight against Yarde. But I really don't think.
I don't know if Yarde had the skill to beat Kovalev.
I don't think he had the skills to beat Kovalev. But I believe that Yarde had the power and the speed to give him an issue.
Yeah, he could. He hurt him. No, he hurt everybody. So he hurt him in that fight.
Right. So with Canelo, it was just like, and I really think, I don't even think Kovalev really trained for that fight. If you look at Kovalev in that fight versus the Yarde fight, you could tell Kovalev was like, yeah, man, I'm getting that Canelo check. You feel me? And he just showed, I really think Kovalev just showed up and just let Canelo he let Canelo carry the fight. And then it's like, okay, throw a hard one, I'm going to take it, and then I'm just going to drop on the motherfucker. I don't feel like, I'm not impressed by the Kovalev win. Let me just be clear. Let me just stop beating around the bush. I'm not impressed by that. I could see if he would have fought Kovalev, beat Kovalev, and then fought Bivol, or fought Beterbiev, or even fought Gudovich, somebody of that caliber. Yeah. But he didn't do that.
He said, but Canelo, in respect to what Canelo has said before, he said he need to go down to his weight class, and that's really 160. He said that.
Right. But who is the top?
Go up there, then to come down, and
right.
I think this is a joke. But hey, let's switch gears. Gary Russell Jr., Devin Haney. And we're gonna come back to Canelo later on.
My thing with Gary, and I'm gonna say this.
Have you paid attention to the whole shit?
I got to watch. That's why it took me so long, because I wanted to get as much as I could. Because I was like 30 minutes, but it started getting good right when I was supposed to start the stream. But I think Gary Russell full of shit. I think he's full of shit as a Christmas fucking turkey.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think Gary Russell is full, just on the fact that he said that everybody is using social media to come up and boost their platform, and that's to his credit, said himself. Ain't that what you doing? Ain't that what
but I'm serious about it, and I'm making fights off of it.
Right. But
so if this fight comes to fruition very soon between him and Devin Haney, then what do you have to say then? Did he use the public? Did he use the social media network how it's supposed to be used?
But they all are. In a sense, you might as well say like that's the way that everybody is trying to make.
But everybody ain't make a fight off of it. If he made a fight off this, and it works. Then what?
Then we got to go deeper and see how was the promotion set up. I'm going deeper because you ain't finna sit up there and say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna be on social media and I'm calling out Devin Haney and they gonna make this fight and all that." And only reason why Gary Russell Jr. is trying to see Devin Haney about anything is because Devin Haney is a franchise champion and that could be his closest means to get back at a Lomachenko fight. He's not trying to fight Devin because Devin is a marquee.
No, yes, he is. He's trying to fight everybody.
Marquee fighter. Who was Devin Haney beat?
He said in that same interview, he's trying to fight everybody who moved up from 128 and 126. And all those people moved up. Remember he said that?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So they moved up away from him. He got to move up and chase him. Come on, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
We're going to see. Because I still don't think that Gary Russell... I don't think Gary Russell should be even thinking about fighting I don't think he should be fighting Terrence Crawford. I'm not interested in seeing him fight a Terrence Crawford.
Okay.
I'm not interested.
Maybe part of that is in there for what you were saying before. I'm not doubting that. But for the rest of those motherfuckers, open season. Maybe Crawford is too much of a stretch. But for the rest of them, open season.
And Gary Russell is basing his argument against Crawford off of the Gamboa fight at 135, saying that Gamboa called him, he hurt him, he don't got the skills and all that. But I don't see 35 and 47. That's like what, 20 pounds, 10 pounds. That's a totally different. That's a totally different division. Guys is big.
But you're absolutely right. And this ain't about Terrence Crawford. We're gonna talk about. Well, I'm focusing more on Devin Haney and
I got you.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh shit! I'm just focusing on 32 hands.
Yo!
Let that shit on the street. Let me know. This is about to get funky now.
Yeah.
Get funky. Hey, all I'm saying is, this is crazy. Okay, all I'm saying is, look, respect to the DMV, and respect to Devin Haney,
yeah,
for going at it like it's supposed to be going at it.
Yeah.
They did it how they said. They showed how it's supposed to go on. Nigga, here's the contract. And this is what social media has been waiting on.
Right.
Hey, but hold on. I just want to say one thing, though. I just want to say one thing.
Once you start talking, it's hard to shut you up. Let me say that shit. And when you start talking, shut the fuck up. Because you're a fucking windbag just like me. Okay?
I ain't long-winded.
Hey, they showed it how it was supposed to go down. Devin Haney, Gary Russell. I believe this fight's going to happen. Real talk.
Real talk.
It's too much
It's
been
too much
going
been going down
and over social
and
media
over social media
for either one of them
for either
to
one
let
of
it
them
go
to
through.
let it go
If
through.
either one of them let
Either
it
one
go
of them
through,
let it go
it's
through.
it's going to hurt both of them.
It's going to hurt both of them.
Fuck you, Two Hand.
Fuck you, Two Hand.
So
I love you, bro. Like, you know you my dog. I love you, bro.
Hey, it's all gravy.
It's all great.
You know you my.
This shit go through.
Hey, we, hey,
Either one of you, 100 right now. This fight goes through.
hey, you want my cash app right now?
Nigga, pound Magnus all day.
Hold on.
Somebody backstage, I'm a little. What's up there? Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show, man.
Yo, DT3, what up?
What's good, Brody?
We just hazing
Oh shit.
I'm just hazing you, brother.
Oh shit.
I never
Oh
said
shit.
it's all love. Don't take it wrong.
With it.
Oh shit.
What's up, brother?
Somebody got echo.
Is it? Hold on. I'm a mute real quick. See if it's me.
All right. Yep. It's Deuce.
Boxing Source, what's up, brother?
What's up, Boxing Source? What
Yeah,
you want to
man.
do today?
Yeah, man, chilling, man. I mean, I've been trying to catch up with this whole thing with Gary Russell Jr., man. Of course, we know about what's been happening over the past couple of weeks. We saw what Devin Haney was talking about, so I had to hit up Gary. So we gonna see if this for real or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not really like, oh, Gary Russell, Devin Haney. I'm not excited about it. It's not a fight that I'm like finna jump through fire hoops to see or nothing like that. I do understand that Gary Russell did say that everybody that he did want to fight for some reason. They did move up one weight class. He wanted to fight Leo Santa Cruz at 126. He moved up to 130. Now he's fighting Tank Davis. He also wanted to fight Lomachenko again. He fought him, I think it was 126, and now he's fighting at 135. He wants to fight Tank Davis. Tank Davis is at 135. Everybody that Gary Russell, in a sense, wants to fight has moved up to 130 and 135, and that's why he's saying that he wants to fight at 135, possibly 140. That's why he's called on a guy like Devin Haney, because Devin Haney is, as we all know, the franchise champion. If you hold the franchise belt, it puts you in a better position or a better line to fight for the world title. So, and we all know Gary Russell Jr. is trying to get that Lomachenko smoke. He's trying to get that Lomachenko fight the second time. So, I still don't see him beating these big guys. Devin Haney is like a 5'9", 5'10", long, rangy guy. I just don't see him really having anything for a guy of that caliber with skills. It's different if you're long and rangy and you lack skill, you lack a certain amount of power. But he's longer, he's rangier, and he does have a good enough pop to where I think he can keep Gary Russell off of him. What you think, Deuce? Oh, Deuce finna dip out. What you think, Boxing Source?
Well, I've been covering. Around Gary Russell Jr.'s area, around the DMV.
Right.
So I've been watching his fights, ever since like the fight.
Hold up.
He's had the thing with
Boston Square. Where you from?
The DMV.
Where at? Me too.
Over in Virginia area, Alexandria.
You in
Okay.
What's that?
Alexandria where?
You know what
You by landmarks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly where you are. You say some full foul shit. You say some foul shit about Gary Russell. I know exactly where you are.
I told you. I said, look.
You buy 285, the Red Lobster, and all that shit, the Giant, and the fresh food. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Hold on, you know exactly what I'm saying. You better work with that. No, you know exactly what I'm saying.
I'm so dead.
Yeah. You buy fresh food right there by Pickett. So you buy Pickett and Van Dorn. Okay.
Woo! Hold up. Just let me say it one time. Just let me say it one time. Talk to me nice.
Hold on.
He just wiped the shit up out his eyes real quick. Oh, I'm drowning.
Yo, Zay.
I know exactly where you at. Don't fuck this shit about Gary Russell.
Hold on, let him
Man,
talk.
this girl gonna cut me, man. Look, man, I love you.
Okay. First off, you'll see how long I follow Gary Russell Jr. You'll see that I have videos of me at the boxing gym and interviewed him on 3 separate occasions. So you talk about somebody riding Gary Russell. I don't know if there's very many that have, done as much with Gary Russell around this area other than myself. So I rode with Gary. I rode with Gary Sr. I rode with you know what I'm saying? So what I was about to say about Gary Russell Jr. is that after he had
too unbiased. You don't want to seem too biased, my bad. You know, maybe we can't be too biased on a box.
Hold up. I ain't with y'all niggas.
You think Devin Haney gonna beat his ass?
I'm not really that impressed by Devin Haney, though, to be honest with you.
For real? Why not?
Yeah, like right now. Because my thing is, if you're going to be that dude, you're going to have to wash every single opponent that you're coming across. And in his last fight, last November, he really didn't do that. Injury or not, he didn't really do that. So now he's coming off of an injury. We don't know what he's gonna do in his next fight out. He was supposed to be fighting guys in the lightweight division. He was supposed to fight Javier Fortuna. That was the mandatory, but nope, they didn't set that up.
Devin Haney's supposed to fight.
Devin Haney was supposed to fight Fortuna. To piggyback on what Boxing Source was saying, Devin Haney.
Hold up, B. I got 4 bars. It ain't me, chat. My internet good. I just fixed it last week. Y'all know I couldn't stay on here without dropping at least 3 times. Don't do me like that.
But like I said, but to back up what piggyback on what Boxing Source was saying, I was looking forward to the Devin Haney Fortuna fight because I was so tired of people saying that Devin Haney ain't fought nobody, and Fortuna was a good enough name to give Devin Haney some sense of legitimacy in boxing, so people wouldn't keep saying that he ain't fought nobody. Because Fortuna, regardless of how people feel about him, because Ronald Finkley says Fortuna ain't shit, but at the same time, Fortuna is a decent enough name to give Devin Haney the credit that he deserves in the sport of boxing. Because prior to that, at this particular time, I don't believe Devin Haney has fought a credible opponent.
Hold up. I want to ask y'all this real quick. Hey, hold on, Marvin. This is a real serious question, though. On top.
Fortuna beat Robert Easter.
God damn it. You stopped me 3 times already.
Go ahead, my shut up.
Okay, cool. I just want to ask this real quick. One time. Okay.
Go ahead.
This is a real serious question. Now, we know Teofimo went in there and he motherfucking had a head full with Nagatani, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all think that Lomachenko had that same problem with Nagatani?
Yeah.
No.
You think? No.
You know why?
So
you know why?
Hold on. I'm not done yet though, because this ain't about Lomachenko though.
I'm asking your question fully.
Okay, go ahead, full mouth.
Because of the length.
That shit must be good, bro.
That's good noodle right there, boy.
Egg foo young.
Man, niggas don't eat that shit.
I do shrimp egg for y'all because it's length. It's length.
That shit got gravy and eggs, bro.
Hold on. Hey, your boy Loma Chico said toughest fight was against who? Paul Campbell. And what does Paul Campbell and Nakatomi had in common? Their height and length.
They different fighters though. They do got height. But I'm saying,
but
ho. But did Lomachenko really have a problem with Luke Campbell though? Did he not beat him in the body and stop him?
Yeah. He didn't
I'm saying this. So, but this is the point I'm trying to make because it's really not about Lomachenko. So we know that Teofimo struggled with a nigga named Nakatani, right?
Right.
And Devin Haney get all of this flack, but he be washing everything. So when it come down to it, how is it that Devin Haney is so far on the outs? And how is it that Devin Haney don't have the? Why isn't Devin Haney ain't at the table with these individuals? Because to be perfectly honest to me, I don't think Teofimo can see the boy. I think Devin Haney the most skilled fighter at 135, hands down. I think Devin Haney got a complete skill set. He might not have the smack Teofimo has, but his barrage of punches and the way he accumulates per round is the thing that breaks niggas down. I'm just saying, we ain't seen the hoes that we, I'm just saying, people always give Devin Haney all of this flack, but it's a known fact that people already said that Teofimo was exposed when he fought Nagatani, right? So if Nagatani can expose this dude, how is he getting these passes?
He beat Nakatami. Did he beat Nakatami?
Yeah.
I never said he didn't beat him.
Somebody
I never said he didn't beat him. My thing is this, though. My thing is this, because I'm going somewhere, though. The franchise belt, Junior already said the franchise belt is the official WBC title. So basically, they saying that Devin Haney is sitting on an invisible title. But my whole thing is this. Devin Haney is the one that fought Zab Dulev. Devin Haney is the one who went through all of the WBC bullshit to get the fight with Lomachenko. Regardless of whether you want to say it was because of purse bid and Bob not wanting to go against the zone, I put 50% there and I put 50%. Niggas might not have want no action. So regardless of whatever, you're going to have to put 50% on both sides because we truly don't know the truth. So we got to put it on both sides of the coin. Now, my whole thing is this. Devin Haney has done everything that Devin Haney was supposed to do to get in the position the right way. Now we want to shit on Devin Haney for doing everything to get in the position. Now they got this figment of imagination title who they said they couldn't exchange hands that niggas only supposed to get diamond belts for. Now we just supposed to be dismissive or whatever, and Devin Haney ain't did shit. Nah, because of the way I feel, a lot of niggas ain't did shit. And because them dudes get in the ring, it ain't going to solidify no spot for me.
Okay, so
you shitting on Devin Haney?
Hold up, let Boxing Source go. Go ahead,
We didn't shit on Devin Haney here, though.
I'm not saying y'all shitting on Haney. I'm not saying y'all shitting on Haney.
Well,
I know y'all.
Devin Haney and Russell, bro.
Yeah, I know y'all talking about Haney and Russell, but that's a fucking Guillermo Rigondeaux versus a fucking Lomachenko fight is what I'm trying to say.
That's what I was going. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm in that place.
Yo,
hold up.
So the thing is with that,
Gary Russell is now 40 years
Johnny
old.
Boy salute.
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
What's up, Johnny Boy?
Gary Russell is not no 41 years old. He's like 31. That's number one.
That
But
nigga
Look, okay. Is he not coming up 2 weight classes?
That nigga
How many niggas come up 2 weight classes and stunt? Tell me.
You started shit, 2 hands.
How many niggas come up 2 weight classes and stunt?
Nigga ain't 45 years old.
How many niggas come up 2 weight classes and stunt?
50 years old.
Hold on. How many niggas? Answer my question. He got his chin on. He got his hand on his chin, so he know he fucked up. How many niggas come up 2 weight classes and stunt?
No.
Sugar Ray
No. I'm letting you speak right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm letting you speak.
Go ahead. How many niggas ship 2 weight classes in one fight? I'm waiting.
I want to hear what Boxing Source got to say. Then I want to get Johnny
Go
Boy.
ahead. Let Boxing Source go.
Come on.
Okay, let me run it. Now, 2 hands. Now, you were talking about Devin Haney, right? In that year, he fought and ran over in the D.C. area. MGM National Harbor got that knockout. Then he had the fight against Zara Abdullayev. That fight was supposed to set him up to fight for the WBC.
Facts.
And the thing was, they had set up a tournament that was supposed to involve Haney, Abdulaev, Teofimo Lopez, and one other guy.
And what did they do?
Okay.
What did they do? They put him in a fight with Comey. They put him in a fight with Comey. Took him out of the title elimination. They took their whole title eliminated shit out the way. They put him in a fight with Comey, and they trying to dismiss him. I don't care. Devin Haney, you can't say these dudes is them dudes without Devin Haney getting that smoke.
This is
serious. That's the thing about it is that I mean I said that Lopez pretty much like X'd himself out of that WBC tournament to have that shot at the IBF title.
Okay, so can we get an invisible fist bump?
Okay, so I got you on that.
Blow up.
Now, in reference to this whole thing with Gary Russell Jr., when I spoke to him in April, that's when you had Devin Haney be the one calling out Gary Russell Jr.'s name. And he did it on Twitter. Now, first of all, if folks knew Gary Russell Jr., they know that he ain't on Twitter like that. So that's number one.
Fact.
So, and then number two, Gary Russell Jr. has been trying to find fights, ever since he beat JoJo Diaz. JoJo Diaz was
Hennessy, you smoking stones. You smoking crack. Stop it.
No,
go ahead. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about niggas in the chat.
Mick Hennessy's on point. What the fuck are you talking about?
Shut the fuck up, Marvin Magnus. You fucking nut.
JoJo Diaz got that mandatory spot for the WBC. He was the one that called out Gary Russell Jr. And Gary Russell Jr. answered the call. Gary Russell Jr. had him in the ring. Gary Russell Jr. beat him. And then after that, he was intending on moving up because at the same time, Josh Warrington won the IBF title at featherweight, and they were supposed to have unification. Did Josh Warrington ever call Gary Russell Jr.'s name? No.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, let's get Johnny Boy take on it before you go 2S. Let's get Johnny Boy. Because y'all gonna be going for hours. Go ahead, Johnny.
I said this yesterday because I ain't gonna bullshit you. I was giving Haney a little bit of funk yesterday. I ain't gonna lie to you. But
no, y'all ain't doing me like that. Y'all not doing me like that. Y'all ain't gonna mute me. I'm a part of the family. Time out. I just want to know one thing. What year did Gary Russell say he was moving up to fight Burchell when he put on that goddamn tacky ass shirt talking about what's up, motherfucking Leo? What's up, Al? I'll wait.
Funny. That shit
I'll wait protecting his Mexican fighters. I said it, motherfucker.
My crackhead homie made that shirt for him. But anyway, what year did he say he was going to move up and fight Burchell? But he never did it. I'll wait.
Because
I'll wait. He was going to relinquish. Hold up. So you moving up 2 weight classes now. First you fight. Hold on. Time out. I'm sorry. I'm just a little hype right now. I just got off work. I got a lot of energy. Hold on. Okay. So you say you fighting Terrence Crawford and you sending over the offer. You say you're going to move up to 130 and you're going to relinquish your WBC title and fight Burchell. You say you're going to do all of this shit, but you just ain't doing it. You wishy-washy nigga. You wishy-washy nigga. Nigga, you wishy-washy. Okay, look, y'all talking all this Gary Russell smoke, but Gary Russell ain't never fight Burchell.
I said,
my motherfucking microphone, DT3. You don't even
Please go ahead.
Hey,
I'm sorry. Hi, Johnny boy. I'm sorry.
You could too, Ants.
I'm trying to let Johnny Boy go.
Hispanica.
Hey, let me go. Listen. This is all I said because I was giving Haney a little bit of funk. Like I said, I ain't no going bullshit, y'all. Here's the thing. For me. I don't have a big problem with the fight itself. I think it'll be a fun fight, to tell you the truth. But all I'm saying is this. If we're going to give Golovkin funk for fighting Brook, if we're going to give Loma funk for fighting Rigondeaux, it's the same fucking scenario.
Didn't I just say that, Johnny boy?
No, no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Didn't I just say that, Johnny boy? Ooh,
By far it's not.
2 hands wins. Ooh, 2 hands wins. Ooh,
You know why?
2 hands wins
I don't-
again.
I don't-
Ooh,
I don't quite-
2 hands
Nah,
wins
I don't
again.
quite say
Nah,
nah.
you dead.
I'm not
You
gonna do
dead.
that. Nope,
You
I'm not.
dead.
Let me
And
answer.
yo,
You
check
dead.
this out. I
Answer.
think, and I think it'll be a fun fight, dog. I do
No,
think it'll be a fun fight.
It's
I'm
not
not gonna
the same comparison. You know why?
Not even close.
How?
You know why? Why? Because the skill levels of each of the fighters.
So Ricky Diaz was
And
2-time
experience.
Olympic gold medalist, undefeated, pretty much knocked out everybody he been in there against, fought
Ricky
Lomachenko.
Diaz was fucking 50.
You Ricky Diaz wasn't 50, but everybody
He was damn near close.
You didn't pick Ricky Diaz to beat Lomachenko. You
Listen,
pick
bro.
Ricky Diaz to beat Lomachenko.
Listen, I picked
But
Ricky
G-
Diaz that made a drastic and decision that he didn't think through. But I think Gary Russell Jr. has thought his fucking decision through and is preparing for it more carefully than Ricky
You
Diaz.
picked Rigo, didn't you?
And
You picked Rigo.
first of
You
all,
did it.
You told
You
me
picked Rigo too. That's why you're a
Listen.
believer. That's why you're a believer.
What was the
Boxing Source is a believer. Martin's a believer. They're all believers.
What was Lomachenko's weight? What was Lomachenko's age when he fought Ricky Diaz?
It was like, what, 28, 27?
He was
Yeah,
30.
something.
No, he 30 now. He like 30, 31 now.
Yeah,
He's
you like 31 now.
32.
Listen, man, I just want to tell y'all something real quick. Y'all got to hear me out for real. It's only going to take a minute.
So you got a 23-year-old fighting a 30-year-old, in this case, 31-year-old. That's totally different, bro.
Look, I will admit this. I will say this.
This is not an over plus 40-year-old who fought in a goddamn.
Man, look, hey, Myron, you can try to put as much motherfucking ranch dressing on that shit as you possibly can. That shit still tastes like ass cheeks, bro.
No, it's real shit. You know it's real shit.
Hey,
I love you.
Real shit.
Oh, shit.
hey,
So, okay. So I'm willing to bet both of you two already 100. So your boy, do you want to bet a split decision or a win?
I got
Who
Haney
you
by.
got?
Hey, look,
Who do you
hold
got?
on. I got Haney by.
Knockout.
Dog.
Ready?
Okay, let me say this.
Let's
If
put money on
Teofimo, if Teofimo were to pick Josh Warrington for a fucking fight, everybody would be fucking.
Thank you, Johnny.
Of course they would. Of course they would. You know why?
Thank you, Johnny.
I'm just look.
Just saying.
Of course they would. Because Josh Warrington dubbed fucking Gary Russell Jr. So you knew he was a bum.
But but like I say, dog, it's the same fucking scenario as Brooke and Golovkin and Roma and Rigondeaux. It's the same thing.
No.
Look, Gary Russell got skill set. Gary Russell got skill set, but bro, it comes to a point where you can have all the skill in the world, but you coming up somewhere where that shit ain't even gonna help you. That boy gonna bully and beat the shit out of him, man.
What we gonna see?
No, we not, because Gary Russell already talking about it could be stipulations in the contract. It could be stipulations in the contract. He said, nah, nigga, I just want a motherfucking rematch clause and beat your motherfucking ass.
It's been a video after that.
It's not the same.
What do you think, Mike? What do you think?
Okay.
Hold on. Hey, did he fight Burchell? Did he fight Burchell? Did he go up to 130 and fight Burchell?
Okay, time out. Because
I'm just waiting for the answer.
With Burchell straight. Okay, first of all,
He can't beat Burchell.
Oh. Okay.
Put my mic on side.
Listen, are we
He can't beat
talking
Burchell.
Are we talking about the same Miguel Burchell that refused to fight Jamel Herring in a unification bout? Talking about, there isn't enough interest for this fight, yet he wouldn't fight Jamel Herring. Come on, stop it. You talk about Gary Russell Jr. wouldn't beat Miguel Burchell? Stop it. That's number one. Number two, in reference to Haney and Russell comparing it to Golovkin and Brooke, no, that's not the same. I'll tell you why. Golovkin, as a unified middleweight champion, had options in the middleweight division to fight. He had just received the WBC title after Canelo dropped the WBC belt because Golovkin was the mandatory contender.
Right.
Okay. he had pretty much all of the belts but one, and that's a WBO title.
With that
Billy Joe Saunders.
That Billy Joe had. Yeah.
And
but the thing, and let me just add this to that, bro. He was supposed to fight Eubanks for that fight, and he got hurt or whatever the fuck it was, so they just threw Kell Brook in there. That's not really on Golovkin, though, dog.
Now, Eubanks Jr. was a possibility in reference to Golovkin, but he still had the WBO champion Billy Joe Saunders out there that he could have fought. And if he fought Billy Joe Saunders and beat Billy Joe Saunders, he would have been the undisputed middleweight champion. But he didn't even fancy that idea. Yeah. And to be honest, Golovkin really wasn't interested in fighting for the WBO title at any point of his career. If you check his history. Now, going into this thing with Gary Russell Jr. and Devin Haney, like I said earlier.
Oh, I'm not muted no more. Hold up. Okay. Now look. Just let me. Can I set the internet on fire, please? No, man, fuck that. I need to set the internet on fire, man. Can I set the internet on fire, please? Okay. Now I just heard a nigga talk about Billy Joe Saunders. I just heard a nigga talk about Jamel Herring talking about Miguel Burchelt don't want this. He done disrespected Burchelt. He talking about Jamel Herring, who just took a fucking head bump from Jonathan Akendo and quit in the 8th round. And Burchelt can't beat Herring, but Burchelt want Lomachenko. Oh, come on, man. What type of money? Look, Jamel Herring ain't worth a motherfucking penny with a hole in it. Jamel Herring ain't worth a penny with a time out. This nigga, the reason he fighting Oscar Valdez over a Jamel Herring, because that nigga ain't worth a penny with a fucking hole in it. A penny with a hole in it. Time out. That nigga, look, your man took a headbutt. Your man took a headbutt and quit, bro. I don't even want to hear that nigga name. Second of all, did he not say, your man said he was coming up from 126 to relinquish his belt, which is a WBC title, to fight Burchelt, which Burchelt has. He never did that. He never did that. So I'm supposed to sit and believe that this nigga, some Superman boogeyman who gonna come up 2 weight classes, do all this motherfucking miracle, fucking walking on water Jesus shit, and beat a fucking Devin Haney. Oh my God!
I mean, if we're gonna be doing Gary Russell, and Devin Haney, that's like throwing Caleb Plant in there with fucking Usyk, dog. Come on,
fuck it, man. Let's do better be even a Nui. Fuck it. Yeah, better be even a Nui.
No. Don't talk about Burchelt, because Burchelt was all in about unifying when Michael had that WBO.
Man, Burchelt said he don't care about no unification, man.
What happened after Jamel Herring won that belt? What did Burchelt say?
Man, I know Jamel Herring took a headbutt. And he quit. I know Jamel Herring did like this on the post.
We're talking about when Jamel Herring.
I just explained to you, boxing source. You a cool motherfucker. You from the town. Boxing source, you a cool motherfucker. You from the town, but you know I just explained to you why that motherfucking Miguel Burchelt and that goddamn Jamel Herring fight ain't go down. It's because that nigga ain't worth a penny with a hole in it with a side of lint and a fish hook. Come on, man. Let's be serious here. Jamel Herring don't sell out a goddamn skating ring. He can't sell out a skating ring with his whole family invited. Let's be serious. That nigga ain't even worth a pair. Look, y'all remember the Master P shoes? He ain't worth 10 pair of them, man.
I jumped on the right.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Jamel, if you listening, bro, it's all love, fam. You know I love you, bro.
I jumped on the right stream. I just smoked a big old fucking blunt.
Oh my God. Listen, bro.
Listen. Because
it's NBBC. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Jamel, I love you.
I love you, dog, but you ain't shit.
Jamel, I love you, but hey, Jamel, I love you, motherfucker, but you don't know a left hook from a fish hook. You ain't worth a fish hook in the boxing ring. You couldn't sell quarter water to a struggling fucking Nigerian. I promise you that. I promise you that. Nigga, you couldn't sell a box of
I actually do have a question about that, but
now I'm just saying, Jamel Herring don't do numbers. So what I'm saying is Miguel Burchell chose Oscar Valdez because we already know that Clash is going to make money. Now, am I saying? I openly admit, boxing source, I definitely said on Ring IQ, the fact that Miguel Burchell went to that fight and watched him and he still chose to fight the Japanese dude instead, that was kind of a red flag for me. I cannot let that slide. But at the end of the day, I've never felt like Jamel Herring could beat fucking Burchell. Are you kidding me? Burchell? This nigga, man, this nigga Jamel the GOAT, man. Look, man.
Okay.
Jamel, I don't care how much you dress this nigga up with Bomac, bro. He ain't Terrence Crawford, man. He ain't Terrence Crawford.
Actually, I was going to bring up Bomac because that fight on Saturday kind of like raised a lot of eyebrows about Bomac as far as like, the fighters that he has, at least with Herring and with Maurice Hooker. Because I don't know, man.
Bro, when you take the headbutt and you straight quit though, and you on the ropes looking out in the oblivion, knowing, because I mean you was looking out in the oblivion because wasn't nobody out there, and you got that look on your face like, bro, he was acting. Like, bro, you wanted to get out the fight because you didn't like the way you was going in there. Oh, Kendo was he was off a 5-1 run right there. He wanted your scalp, and you wasn't ready to give it up that way because you already knew how it was going to go. So you took the easy way out, and that's cool. But I'm gonna tell you one thing though, you wouldn't even get that shot with Burchell. And if y'all think Jonathan Okendo would stand a chance in there with Burchell would kill that boy in 5 rounds. The way he do Vargas, the way he do Murata, the way he do all, man, look, I'm trying to tell you, what nigga Burchell, no matter what caliber they at, he ain't knocked the fuck down with a vicious body shot or came upstairs and clipped their ass. Outside of one fight, he went to the 11th round.
Burchell can get down, bro. He can throw down.
You can talk about all the weaknesses.
I got him over Valdez.
How can you penetrate his weaknesses though? We can talk about the weaknesses in the skill set. But his offense is so vicious, you can't penetrate it.
Nobody give a fuck about Burchell.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. This MVBC, yes, we do.
That nigga ain't selling no tickets.
Yo, hey, to be honest, it's not the most I've heard anybody speak about Burchell ever.
Hold on, Myron, hold on, nigga, my power, look, nigga, Myron, I swear to God, nigga, my power levels is about to go to 9,000, nigga.
Let it go to 10,000.
You talking about Burchell?
Gary Russell.
I'm in 9,000.
Devin Haney, fuck him.
I think you're fine.
Nobody.
I think if I'm still on the fence about who I'm picking, but I think if Loma or Loma or Tio, whoever runs up out of that fight, I think they're gonna get thrown in there with Burchell next. I think.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think you
want to come see my guy.
Burchell too, but I want to see Devin Haney and Gary Russell. So what's your pick,
bro? Why you keep saying that, bro? I know you DMV. Most stop saying that.
What do you mean? Because this is the fight that's coming up.
Well,
no, it's not.
So
it's not happening. Okay, listen, guys. If it really happens, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I did say the other night when people brought it to my attention, I said, yo, I fuck like Gary, that's my man. He got hella skills. Like, we cannot deny that this nigga's the longest reigning WBC champion. The boy can box. He's fast hands, he can box. So you can't take nothing away from his skill set. My whole thing is, I preach this all the time. Man, shut up, Myron. You just listen.
Like
you just listen.
I'm looking at him right now. Takashi Miura. Who the fuck is that?
You wouldn't know, but he a champion, you bum.
Somebody
like a champion, you bum.
Who the fuck is Francisco Vargas? Sound like some cowboy shit.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Who is Francisco Vargas? Are you kidding me?
Cowboy shit.
Are y'all gonna let him do that? Are y'all gonna let him do that?
Jason Sosa.
Y'all gonna let him do that? Oh, but Jason Sosa was good enough for Lomachenko though.
Bro, come on now.
Jason Sosa was good enough for Lomachenko though.
Come on now.
Yeah, I'm saying Jason Sosa was good enough for Lomachenko though.
No, he wasn't. He was a bum then too. He's a bum against Burchell.
But Jason Sosa, he was a somebody.
No, Burchell just made it look better. Burchell made it look easier.
Oh my God.
Who beat him better?
Valenzuela? Elizar Valenzuela. Who the fuck is Elizar Valenzuela? That's a bitch.
Man, look, man. Hey, Marvin, man, look. I just got this motherfucking conkaline put in my head, nigga. You setting my hair on fire right now, nigga. I just got this perm last week, nigga. My hair hot. You some bitch, you fucking up this pimping, you some bitch, you.
The Romans are dead, motherfucker. They call Sicilians and Italians.
You some bitch, you. Listen, man. You some bitch, man. You messing up this pimping, man. I just got this conkaline put in yesterday, man. Nigga, my power levels is at 9,000, bitch.
Hey, did Devontae Davis fight Burchell?
Tank ain't fighting no Burchell.
It's showing it
Tank
right
ain't gonna fight nobody with a heartbeat or
Devontae knocked out Burchell already.
Ain't Tank ain't fight nobody. This ain't about to
yeah. See, look, bro. Okay, look. You ain't gonna bring up my man one loss way back in the day, bro. Back when we was riding Schwinn and rollerblades and shit. So you ain't gonna do that.
So you knew he lost to Davis.
And then what he do? And then what he do?
So he lost to
And
Davis,
then what he do?
He only lost to fucking Davis, y'all.
Who you talking about, bro?
Mikhail Burchell.
He didn't lose to
He got
Davis.
one loss, B.
Yeah,
he got one loss at the early point in his career, bro.
Yeah.
And then what?
He got
let's check his career, man. We can check his career
right now.
Y'all gonna stop talking about my man, man. Y'all gonna stop talking about my man. Look, this ain't gonna become. Listen, man. Y'all ain't gonna be. Look, this ain't gonna become the two-corner bash motherfucking Miguel Burchell session.
Yes, he did. He fought Miguel Burchell.
But look though, Gary Russell got his fucking ass whooped by Lomachenko. Now, Gary Russell couldn't even go home. Gary Russell couldn't even go home. Gary Russell couldn't even go home. But you want to know what Gary Russell told the world, though? Gary Russell said, Mr. Lomachenko, you called me at the right time, Mr. Lomachenko. I was a little weight drain, Mr. Lomachenko. But guess what? I'm going to see you again real soon. That was back in 26. That was a couple years ago, though.
Dudes like that, right?
Here we go.
I'm just saying. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm just saying. I'll admit this, though. Boxing source, I'll admit this. They didn't count a knockdown. I'll admit that.
Okay.
Right. There you go.
He did.
Hey,
Burchell lost to fucking some dude in Mexico early on.
They haven't fought.
Yeah.
They haven't.
All I know is it's weird.
He lost to some dude that, look, you know how it is in Mexico when you coming up pro. You fighting 30 and 40-year-old dudes at 15, 14 years old, man. Yeah. Come on, man.
Burchell and Davis haven't fought yet. The Burchell, I'm admitting.
That's the same thing that happened to Arguello. He had a couple of losses early on back in the old days, in the 70s.
Over in Mexico, you get beat with some shit.
Fucking Nicaragua, yeah. The same neck of the woods.
Yeah, man. Burchell the real killer, man. You just, because you haven't watched him, you haven't been able to appreciate what you haven't been seeing. But if you actually watched him, you would appreciate a motherfucker like that. I'm serious. He's a fighter you would have to appreciate.
It's Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo, Dazin, Devin Haney, Gary Russell Jr. Nobody would care about this.
How dare you?
Name after a belt. Why you talk about somebody named after a belt?
How dare you? The nerve of this dude. Why you give him a middle square? Why am I on the outside? Why does Marvin get the middle?
because I ain't talking about no motherfucker named Burt and Chill. At the same time.
You know what? You know what?
Burt and Chill. That don't sound like nobody I want to see watch to make me burp.
Hey, look, I just gotta say this, man. Shout out to the motherfucking dopest motherfucking gang in the building, man. MPPC, man, and everybody that represents us, man. Y'all show us some motherfucking love, man. Hit the like button, man. Y'all already know when we get together, man, the chemistry is like no other, man. So look, man, just show love. It costs you nothing to hit the like button. And y'all know, and y'all in the chat, y'all motherfuckers know, I never asked y'all to hit the like button. I don't ask nothing.
Burchell sound like he got a disease.
Hold on. Hey, is Lisa Bales and Arlen in here? Is Lisa Bales? Hold on. Is Lisa Bales and Arlen in here?
Yeah, Lisa Bales in here.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi, Arlen. Hey.
Bert,
I love y'all. Okay.
That sound like some nasty shit.
What? They know I love them too. They know I love them too. Look, I'm single. I told Lisa if I find her, she mine.
Hey, Lisa.
Snatch gang.
Hey, Lisa.
Snatch gang.
Lisa.
Snatch gang. I told Arlen last night she got to watch how she talked to me. I told Arlen last night she got to watch how she talked to me.
2 hands, I'm fighting for you right now. Lisa, go ahead, find a girl named Burchell for 2 hands.
That's what we doing? That's what we doing? Motherfucker.
Find a female out here named
man.
Burchell.
Hold on, man. Look, man. My motherfucking perm. You some bitch. My goddamn perm.
All right, well, we got to get to the Canelo. Let's get back to Canelo.
Hold on. Let 2 hands.
Nigga.
Let 2 hands.
Nigga, I just had to dip my head in the toilet because my motherfucking head hot, man.
He took
You fucking this perm up, man.
He took off the hat and shit. Go
You
ahead,
fucking this perm up, man. Look, you fucking this perm up, man. Look, man, I was trying to be cool for the ladies. And then you come through here talking some bullshit. Talking about I'm looking for a lady named Burchell.
Okay, no, my bad. Let's go to perm shell since you say you had
the perm shell.
All right, so I'm gonna start off with Johnny Boy.
But nah, this shit real though. This ain't no perm though. This shit all natural. This shit real. This shit real. This shit real.
For civilians, I think it's what, like,
you see them
30
waves?
That's the old school Escalon.
No, this shit, I swear to God, I don't got no, I was playing. I really don't have no perm. That's my real hair.
I'll fuck with you, dude.
All right, but let's get back to what we talking about Johnny Boy about this Canelo suing the zone for some hundreds of millions. What do you think about that, Johnny Boy? What's up?
I mean, I got a big laugh out of it, to tell you the truth, because I kind of seen it coming, all this shit.
Hey, ho. How's a nigga gonna tell me to stop saying nigga? Like, hold up. If you coming in, you can't come around here and say I hit the like button if you stop saying nigga. Well, you don't hit the dislike button twice just for saying that shit. Because I don't even want you to hit the like button for trying to tell me how to talk. This is a grown man conversation, man. It costs you nothing to pay a real nigga no mind.
Go ahead.
It costs you not to appeal to everybody.
Look, bro. I've seen the bad blood between them two, like, building up over the years. I knew some shit was gonna happen, but the last time this happened with the big name fighter was Andre Ward, and he sat out for 3 years. And the time before that, it was Mikey Garcia, and he sat out for 3 years. Because I'll be telling these dudes, I'm like, bro, it's not like Canelo can just rock up over to ESPN or Fox and be like, oh, no, shit, I'll fight over here. Not while you're in the middle of a lawsuit. You can't.
Well, guess what, nigga? Guess what, Mick? If I'm trash, your mama pussy hot dumpster juice, nigga. If I'm trash, your mama pussy hot dumpster juice, nigga, on a motherfucking summer Saturday, nigga. Fuck is you talking about, pussy? But your mama pussy hot dumpster juice, nigga, and your teeth look like you've been chewing on nuts and bolts, nigga. I don't know if you do it now. I'm just saying it sound good. I just like saying funny shit. Hey, nah, Mick Hennessy for real. Come to my page and subscribe, dog. It's all good. It's all good. Hi. If I'm trash, do some recycling then, motherfucker.
He said I drank your mama's pussy juice.
Oh, you reading a comment?
But yeah, dude, that's the thing though, bro. It's not like Canelo can just rock up over to ESPN and Fox and shit and be like, I'm gonna fight, because if he does that, he'll breach his own contract.
Who is you talking about? Be humble or else. Does this dude? Who is this dude? He don't know me, bro. I'm the most humble nigga in the world. I've been had a big mouth. I've been the funny nigga. I've been the live wire. This been my energy. Nigga, if you don't know by now, you in the wrong fucking place. Cause I never change, bro. This is me, bro. Every day, bro. This ain't no act. This is me, bro.
Why you respond to somebody in the chat, though?
Because I always do.
But we respond to Johnny Boy.
Me and Two Hands got that same problem. We got that same problem because I'd be doing the same shit on mine. Somebody's like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "I eat shit, motherfucker." Yeah.
I feel you. But it's a distraction. Maybe he's a distraction to try to get us off of somebody's ass.
Nah, y'all think it's a distraction, but people like when I cuss people out though. Ask them. They'll tell you. They like it when I cuss people out.
This shit is fucking hilarious. I can't even lie.
But it's limited.
I can't even lie, dog.
It's not though. Look, hey, by the time this live over, y'all motherfuckers going to thank me. I promise you. Because if it wasn't for me, this bitch would be a flat tire right now.
No, it wouldn't.
So the energy wouldn't be a flat tire?
No, you good.
So the energy wouldn't be a flat tire right now? Oh, so fuck you then too, okay? Fuck you then too, okay? I'm just saying, Boone, you all right. Boone, you all right. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with you, Boone. Boone, you kind of special. You know what I'm saying? You got a little Bruce Leroy glow about you. You know what I'm saying? Myron Magnus, you cool too. You know what I'm saying? You got you know what I'm saying? You got a little pimp. You got a little pimp sprinkling on you. You know what I'm saying? About the source, you cool. You know what I'm saying? Johnny boy, you know what I'm saying? You cool, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on nobody. My bad. I shut the fuck up.
Yeah, everybody in the chat talking that bullshit about Johnny Boy. I better leave Johnny Boy alone, man. That's why I put him on here.
Do what it's going to do.
Hey,
I've got more torment in the chat. I've got more torment in the chat than all of you. I've got more torment in the chat room than all of you.
Man, nigga, I'm that turned up, nigga. I'm that energy, bro.
You're not.
Man, you already know, Myron. Stop playing, bro. All of us make up a certain level of chemistry and a certain level of energy. I need you, just like you need me, and just like we need Boone, just like we need everybody else. It's a conundrum of some fuck shit.
No. We don't need each other, but we complement each other.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
bruh, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
We bounce off.
Nobody. Listen.
I was blazing.
Fuck all that. Niggas know what I mean because everybody know I don't need a motherfucker. I stand on my own too every motherfucking day. But what I'm saying is, when niggas come together, you don't get shit like this by yourself. You didn't have shit like this when it was just you and DT3 on here. Nigga, it takes all of us to make this energy, bruh. Nigga, we need each other, nigga. That's why we MBBC, nigga.
We did have that.
Well, can we get back to
Canelo?
Chemistry,
nigga. Look what the chat saying. Look what the motherfucking chat saying. Ask the chat how they feel about this shit right now.
Look what
the chat saying. You ain't even gotta ask them. They telling you. They telling you.
They telling you.
They telling you what the wave is. They telling you what the wave is.
That wave ain't kicking it.
No, it ain't kicking for you, nigga. You jealous?
No,
is you jealous? Is you jealous?
It sounds good.
You in your feelings? You in your feelings? You in your feelings? You can't be pretty by your goddamn self? You in your feelings? You can't be pretty by your goddamn self?
Look at them.
You in your feelings? You can't be pretty by your goddamn self? That's what it sound like.
You jealous?
That's what it sound like.
You're not.
That's what it sound like.
You jealous?
That he can't be pretty by his goddamn self.
No, the numbers prove.
Let's get back to Canelo suing the zone, and let's get a take on that. Let's not get caught up in everything else. So, I want to get the boxing sources' opinion about Canelo suing the zone.
Hey, I'm Mike Two Hands. Don't need no Mike. That's
for 15 minutes.
Well,
I'll be back.
Thing is, the zone fucked up with the deal.
Go ahead.
So Golden Boy basically fleeced the zone or John Skipper with that deal with Canelo. Canelo wasn't really part of that, negotiation. Golden Boy just told, John Skipper, hey, we got Canelo, and he's the superstar, he's the number one. So we want to have this particular deal for him. And John Skipper was like, okay, but that average, like, $365 or $350 million guarantee, like $35 million for a fighter on a streaming service, that doesn't add up. And so when you had the whole thing as far as like the fights that they were talking about, the Daniel Jacobs, the Sergey Kovalevs and stuff like that doesn't pull what they needed to pull. And I'm like, well, who else you gonna get that could actually give you that much interest? Because I don't really think Canelo's that much of a marketable fighter. He's not like an Oscar De La Hoya. He's not like a Floyd. So you don't have him on one side where everybody likes him, or you don't have him on the other side where everybody hates him. And you need that in order to maximize revenue in big fights. So with that being said, it doesn't matter who Canelo fights right now. They're not going to get that type of money off of him, no matter who he fights. It could be Caleb Plant. It could be, Golovkin again. It could be Jamal Charlo. Who?
Yeah.
Charlo. Would Charlo be the best because of the cross marketing from PBC?
Yeah, but what Source is saying is though he's not going to get that money regardless because no matter who he fights because they ain't got the punch-in money, dog. That's what he's saying. And the fucking and hold on, and let me say this too. Like I was saying before, bro, it's not like he can just go rock up to fucking ESPN or Fox neither, because he's in the middle of a fucking lawsuit. So he might be sitting on the shelf for a while.
Get two hands back.
Yeah.
Two hands getting dressed.
And that's the thing. So even with the pay-per-view, right? I mean,
yeah.
Canelo Golovkin was the biggest pay-per-view that they could possibly make for Canelo at that particular point. And that either one didn't break 1.5 million pay-per-view buys, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. No, you're right, Boxing Source. The first one was 1-3. The second one was 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
And that can't really move the needle. Not when you have, Canelo against Floyd be 2.4, 2.5, and Floyd versus Pac 4.5 million. He's not going to touch those numbers with anybody, whether it's pay-per-view or not. So getting that $365 million deal with that first fight being $15 million against Rocky Fielding.
Fucking two hands.
That was just not a good deal for DAZN to make. So they have to hold the bag, or like Johnny was saying, they're gonna have to go through a whole lot of back and forth.
Well, what's the biggest fight for Canelo to make out of all the fights from 160 to 175 pounds? What one fighter or two or three fights that you could say that will be equivalent to that? Like, what three fighters or one fighter would be considered a top opponent? Because you've already mentioned a hoopla of opponents that we've already said were top guys, and not even those guys are decent enough to fulfill the contract obligations. So who was there for him to fight in the first place? And if that's the case, they knew they was not going to be able to fulfill that contract obligation from the moment they sent Canelo that damn contract. If that's the case.
And that's the thing. And that's why I say that DAZN got fleeced when, Golden Boy went to John Skipper and negotiated that deal. It had nothing to do with Canelo Alvarez. They were just telling John Skipper, we got Canelo. He's the biggest guy. He got all these pay-per-views. Look what he did with Golovkin. Look what he did with, Floyd. Look what he did with Little Chavez or Chavez Jr. And John Skipper was like, oh, okay, let's sign him for $365 million. Without even thinking about, okay, you're having him for 11 fights, so you got to plan out those 11 fights. And they didn't necessarily do that. Compare that to Floyd Mayweather, who had a 6 or 7 fight deal where all they basically said was, look, all we want is for you to fight Manny Pacquiao. As long as you fight Manny Pacquiao, it really doesn't matter who you fight. We're going to make that money back off the Manny Pacquiao fight. And that's how Showtime was able to do the deal with Floyd Mayweather. But with Canelo Alvarez, who is that guy, that supposed rival that Canelo has that says, oh, yo, we got this guy over here and he could be Canelo Alvarez? You really don't have that. So how are they going to get that money when you really don't have that type of rival to say, oh, if those two guys fight, everybody's going to be buying DAZN or at least subscribing for that 1 month to watch the fight? You don't have that.
Got it. What you think, Deuce? What you think about who you think is a credible opponent for Canelo, given the fact that he's fighting with this contract and he's fighting DAZN suing DAZN, saying that they can't find him a credible opponent. Who do you think is a credible opponent that Canelo could fight? And if it's not, then what else is there for him to do if he can't find a credible opponent to match the money that DAZN put up?
Well, I'm gonna just say this: when you a marquee $100 million fighter, none of your fights are expected to be easy. None of your fights are supposed to be mediocre. It's kind of like if you look at Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's a marketable guy. Canelo a marketable guy, but at the end of the day, you're always supposed to have a certain level of caliber opponent. So they're not gonna be willing to try to pay him. No, who gonna pay a nigga $350 million for? You know what I mean? Right now it's a pandemic too. That weighs a lot on it as well. And then you think about it right now, it was like I think that shit was contingent upon that Triple G fight happening. And when Triple G bounced out of that fight and said he wanted to fight come on, man.
Polish dude. The Polish dude.
Deverenchenko.
Deverenchenko. No, not that guy. Not that guy. The guy he's fighting right now.
Yeah.
That really killed. That really killed because they were looking to recoup, because they could have recouped some way off that trilogy. That trilogy with Triple G and Canelo, bringing them two names together would have been something that would have actually helped Canelo win away. But I don't know.
I don't
know, man.
Callum Smith, I'll take that, bro. They just ain't trying to pay you.
No, it doesn't work.
Trying to pay you 50 to fight fucking.
Boom. Johnny Boy, it doesn't work. It's called USA.
You say what?
That zone is trying to build its market. It grabbed the market share from PBC and Top Rank.
Yeah.
And Callum is not a name in Americas.
No, I understand that, bro. But
that's the main thing with Dazn right now. People ain't trying to really see.
Well,
no.
Like,
This is all I was saying was this. That's better than fucking Yavin Madrid or whatever the fuck his name was. Fucking Amir Khan's cousin over here.
I agree. But see, here's the deal, right?
Whatever the fuck his name was over here.
Here's the deal, right? This is what I think, man. I think, like, even if Callum Smith was on the table and if you had crowd, it changes the dynamic of everything. Because you're talking about a Callum Smith fight with Canelo Alvarez. They could have put that fight in the UK. That shit would have sold pay-per-views. That shit would have sold out arenas. It would have did numbers. So it changes things when you don't have crowds and you're talking about a $350 contract and you're trying to make lower fights and low opposition, bruh. He was already signed to fight a certain level of opposition when he signed that contract. So you're not fulfilling those obligations. They're going to want to pull back. It's all business. So it's not like I don't understand where the zone is coming from, because honestly, the way I look at it, I'm like, Kovalev was cool. Danny Jacobs was cool. But
hey, let me say some boxing source. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think Callum Smith could draw that much to bring that in the UK. I don't think he's that popular. He's not popular than Billy Joe Saunders.
Against Canelo, it could.
Well,
Canelo,
UK, you still dealing with UK. You're dealing with
Callum Smith ain't more popular than Billy Joe Saunders.
Let's deal with the numbers. In the UK, you're only dealing with 60 million people top. In the Americas, just United States, 300 million. Mexico, 200 million.
Okay, let me take that back. Let me take that back because I misconstrued my statement.
It's a numbers game.
Bring the UK fans. Make the Canelo fight with Callum Smith. If there were fans available, you could do that fight in America. UK fans going to travel like Ricky Hatton.
That's right.
They're going to travel like Ricky Hatton regardless. If they came for Tyson Fury against Deontay, man, come on.
I don't think
you don't even need that.
Hey, come on, yeah, you're right on that one. I agree with that.
It's true, but you don't even need that. All we got to do.
The question is, do Callum Smith have a following like Ricky Hatton or Tyson Fury?
Close. He has a good number.
What following did Tyson Fury have? He ain't never fill up no fucking arenas even in the UK. Tyson Fury couldn't fill up arenas at home.
And ain't nobody got a following like Tyson Fury besides fucking Pacquiao and Canelo and a couple others.
What are you
saying?
But going on the thing with Canelo though, and going back to the contract, and they're talking about this whole thing with seeing if they'll get that third Golovkin fight. Canelo hates Golovkin's guts, to say the least. Going off that second fight, they remember it took until like the 11th hour to make that second fight. They had that second fight official. Once Canelo got that decision over Golovkin, he's like, "Fuck Golovkin, I'm out. I'm out."
Wipe his hands with it.
Yeah, he washed his hands with it. So any instance of a third fight between Canelo and Golovkin, Canelo wasn't really interested in it.
I shit you not, boxing source. I shit you not,
That's
dog.
the problem,
right before
though.
I came out here,
because it's a problem with the fucking the word.
Right before I came out here, I watched that bitch. Right before I jumped on out here, bro.
Yeah. But
that's the problem. That's the problem. Though. Look, the problems in the language with the problems in the language with the promotional companies and the management. Because if Golden Boy is signing doing the deal with the Zone and they promising fucking the Zone that they're going to deliver Canelo for a fucking Triple G fight, and that's supposed to be stipulated in the contract, and you got to make this man bend a break, like then there was problems with that shit from the jump.
That's right.
I'm just saying, regardless of whatever, the best thing that they had, the fuck they had problems from the fucking jump. So if like. You looking at the situation now, like all everything that was telling us from the beginning, from the end of last year till now, is that this shit could possibly happen.
I mean, the second fight between Canelo and Golovkin was September 2018, and then they made that deal with the Zone, and then had the Rocky Fielding fight.
Right.
Golovkin wasn't signed with the Zone at that point yet. He wasn't. It wasn't until that next year, the turn of the year, and they had to offer Golovkin a share of the company in order for him to sign on. So it took him that much just to get Golovkin, and even with all that, Canelo still says, "You know what? I'm still not fighting Golovkin." And there's no even tried to say, "Hey, you'll add in $5 million to this part of the deal as long as you fight Golovkin."
Let me ask you a question. What's the issue of Canelo fighting Golovkin a third time in all of you guys' opinion?
Go ahead, Johnny.
I don't think when it's a big fight like that, I never think it's one thing to blame. I think it's a little bit of both sides. I think Triple G's a little bit salty. He didn't get that nod in the second fight or the first fight for that matter, however you want to take it. And on the flip side of that,
he should be.
Canelo's like, fuck this dude. I don't want to go through. I think it's a little bit on both ends, bro, to be honest with you.
Yeah, who the fuck want to go through that shit again?
Boxing
like for real. If you went through that shit twice and it was tough as fuck, who want to go through? You think he really want to go through that again?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. If you don't have to, you know it's going to be a hard night, regardless if you feel like you can win. You probably really don't want to go through that shit again. Man, it's like Katie Taylor. After she fought Delphine Pursuit the second time, she didn't want to go through that shit again. She said, I need some time. Can I have some time to myself? Like, but my thing is this, though, man. Like, it was fucked from the beginning. It was fucked from the beginning. If you sign that, man, and Triple G was supposed to be the cash out point, and you didn't do it, and the Zone went ahead. This is what I think, partially on the Zone's end. If you still took a gamble based upon the fact that because of Canelo's star power, thinking like, hey, if we do get the Triple G fight, if we don't get the Triple G fight, he's still good for the company. We still can move and do numbers with him. So they tried with Daniel Jacobs, they tried with Kovalev, and I'm feeling some way in between there, they got upset, and then the pandemic was like, oh, hell no. Nah. That really made them want to decide to draw back, and they wasn't playing ball. Then, you know what I mean? But it's everybody's fucking fault, man.
What do you think about,
in my opinion?
Boxing Source.
Boxing Source.
Well, let me actually open this up because to be honest with y'all, I'm not like a complete fan of Canelo, and I'm definitely not a fan of Golovkin. So when that first fight went down, it wasn't like I was all too excited about it. So first fight went through, and people could say it was a draw. I would have leaned towards Golovkin for that first fight. And so with that being said, a lot of people thought that Golovkin won the fight. So Golovkin's like, man, I did all this and I get this and I get shafted basically. So I'm going to act like this for the rematch. And when it took until like the very last second in order to make that second fight official, that's what tipped Canelo off with Golovkin. He's like, you know what? You acting like this now? I'm wait for this fight to be over. Once I get this and it's good and I win, I'm done with you. And that's exactly what Canelo felt like after that fight in the rematch. He's like, I'm done with Golovkin. So when you fast forward to the whole thing with the deal, Skipper is saying, oh, okay, maybe we could have the chance to secure Canelo Golovkin 3, but not knowing that Canelo didn't want any parts to do with Golovkin again. So he goes ahead and he signs that deal. Then he moves ahead and he tries to beat Golovkin, and he still doesn't, have that whole thing with Canelo saying, I'm not fighting Golovkin. So now DAZN stuck with that deal that they have with Canelo and with Golovkin. And it's not like Golovkin's moving the needle either because he's not really fighting anybody. Like, who is he fighting? Steve Rolls? He had that fight with Derevyanchenko where people thought that Derevyanchenko won that fight. And now he's fighting Camille Pizarro because it's like he really doesn't want to fight anybody else, in the middleweight division or anybody like that. He doesn't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. He doesn't want to fight a Charlo. He doesn't want to fight those guys.
How old is Golovkin?
What is it, like 35, 36 or something like that?
Golovkin about 38.
38.
He older than me. I'm 36. He older than me.
Shit, man. Yeah, I mean, he only got like about 1 year. I thought he only had like 2 years from last year. Yeah, he's 38.
Good, a couple years off his career right there. My opinion on it is that I feel like this. I feel like Canelo played too much the first fight. I feel like Canelo didn't take the first fight that serious. That's why you see Canelo doing hella slipping and all that little. He was just playing with Triple G the first fight. He didn't take the. You could tell when Eddie Reynoso was telling them in between rounds. He was like, "Stop playing. Like, you need to throw more punches. Take this fight more serious. Stop letting him back you on." Like even Eddie Reynoso was getting frustrated with the way Canelo was performing in the first fight. So I feel like Canelo was playing too much in the first fight. And I think when they gifted him a draw, because you could argue and say that Triple G won that fight pretty much off of effective aggression and his jab alone. You could say he won that fight. And I think they gave Canelo a gift with a draw. It was like, oh no, fuck that. Next fight, I'm just gonna walk his ass down and just throw punches and bunches, typical Mexican style fighting. And I think the way he fought Triple G the second time is how he should have fought him the first time. And I think it would have been, to me, the second time was a clear, obvious Canelo won. You don't back Triple G up. Let's be clear. Triple G is not known for taking the backward steps ever.
I'm gonna say this.
Triple G is not known for taking the backward steps ever.
I'm gonna say this, and this shit, like, for real, bro. Like, at the end of the day, this shit is real bad for DAZN. Extremely bad for DAZN. And I'm gonna tell you why it's bad for DAZN. It don't matter if they win or lose in the situation. This is what I'm saying. They're gonna lose regardless. Because you want to know what's gonna win? Canelo is gonna win. It's gonna say that fucking boxing and big boxes need to be on fucking pay-per-views, man. The streaming model just don't work. Because if you brought the biggest fighter in the fucking world there at the time, $100 million fighter, and that didn't suffice, what that's going to say about streaming services is more and more that the pay-per-view model is more relevant than ever because of this situation. And if anybody is looking at it from any other promotional company that is vying for pay-per-view, which Top Rank is, even though they are doing streaming services as well, but they still run pay-per-views, and PBC is never going to give up pay-per-views. You just letting them know that, like, yo, Canelo, you need to get over here, bro. In the pay-per-view market, because that streaming shit ain't working for you. Look at what you're going through.
Here's the deal with how I feel about it. I think the streaming service will work, but they signed the wrong. Let me go ahead, no cap. I think Canelo Alvarez is a spoiled little fucking brat. Okay, let me just go ahead and get it off my chest. He's a spoiled fucking brat. So what? He fought Laura, questionable decision. So what? He fought Trout, questionable decision. He lost to Mayweather, got a card in his favor somehow, questionable decision. This is a baby born that we're talking about. So this is a phlegmatic personality mentality. He's the youngest out of 7 children. He used to the attention. He used to getting pandered to. He used to getting all this and all that. And now that he's not getting it, the motherfucker's throwing a fucking temper tantrum and throwing a lawsuit to save face. Facts. This whole lawsuit is bullshit. The whole boxing world has said it. Ward, his own fucking promoter, everybody that he's being too selective with whom he's fighting. If you accepting a $365 million contract, you better fight the best motherfuckers they have on the card to fight. Period.
Quarantine.
To make yourself motherfucking worthy of making $365 fucking million from somebody on 11 fucking fights. This bitch motherfucker doesn't have 40 fights of nobodies before that. Can you name the 35, 40 fucking Mexicans he fought in Guadalajara before he went professional? Get the fuck out of here. Okay? No. He looked just like Julio Cesar Chavez record. That's right. Julio Cesar Chavez was fucking 80-0 before he came professional fighting motherfuckers in America. He got a draw against Pernell Whitaker he didn't deserve. He got his ass mollywopped by Oscar De La Hoya. Who the fuck else? And those are the facts. Oscar De La Hoya, I'm sorry. Now Oscar.
I'm going to say this.
Let me finish. Stop. Hold on. Let me finish. Oscar fought everybody. That East LA motherfucking American Mexican fought every fucking body. Whether we thought he won or not, he fought everybody. That Guadalajara.
His power level's over 9,000.
Yeah. Well,
hold up. Stop. Let me finish. I'll let y'all speak for like 30 minutes. That Guadalajarian ain't fought every fucking body. That spoiled little punk ass red-haired motherfucking Irish Mexican ain't fought nobody. Slim, and you talking about we fighting motherfuckers when they old and out of their prime. Look, man, this motherfucker done fought motherfuckers have been questionable motherfucking matches. Jacobs, Kovalev. Let's stop it. Hey, for real.
Because technically, you got to think about it too. When they gave Canelo the contract,
Canelo Alvarez,
I was gonna pick it back
to save him. Don't try. If I die, I'm dead on Myron Magnus. Fuck the dumb shit on Boxologics United. You motherfuckers are safe. This is not the thoughts and ideas of anybody else on this fucking podcast right now. But Oscar De La Hoya is, I'm sorry, Canelo Alvarez is a spoiled little punk ass brat. The motherfucker need to step up and fight who he needs to fight to warrant making $365 million motherfucking dollars. And that's all the zone wants him to do. If you're gonna fight $365 million, call yourself pound for pound the face of fucking boxing. Motherfucker, bring motherfuckers in all of America, North America, South America, that wants to see you fight these particular motherfuckers in North America and South America, and fuck these British motherfuckers and these European motherfuckers. Nobody in America wants you to. I don't give a fuck who Bivol is. I don't give a fuck who Billy Joe Saunders was before I came back in a fucking boxing. I don't give a fuck who Kevin Smith was.
Take me off mute. Boxing Logic United, turn me up.
No, all I'm saying is the truth.
Going back and
The Zone came in. The Zone USA came in the fucking boxing world to control boxing in America. And they gave Canelo Alvarez $365 million to do that. And his punk ass ain't done that shit.
And they didn't even have 11 opponents there for him when they gave him that contract.
I've been saying this for the longest time. The Zone has blocked me, but the Zone, I'm talking to your behalf right now. Fuck Canelo.
You man.
I told y'all that shit.
In 2 years, go ahead. Because
if that bitch
I don't
Irish,
look, man.
redhead motherfucker.
Look, I don't know where to begin, but look, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say.
And listen,
this is what I'm gonna say.
Stop it.
De La Hoya, tongue out your mouth like you nasty.
If you got your own fucking promoter calling your ass out like a
tongue out your mouth like you nasty,
they ain't fucking fighting the motherfuckers that you supposed to fight. Then where else can you run? If all the great Mexican greats done called you out for cherry picking, where else can you fucking run, Canelo?
God damn.
You better stay in that Southern California big ass house you got that your ass can't pay for no more.
How you know he live in Southern California? How you don't know he live on the north side?
That bitch redhead ain't moved to motherfucking Mexico no more. They don't even like him, man.
His face that.
Well, Boxing Source, what you think? What's your take on it? What's your take? Well, Boxing Source, what you think? What's your take on it? What's your take?
The thing with Canelo Alvarez, he says that Canelo is a diva. Listen, Canelo and Ryan Garcia have been having problems with Golden Boy for years.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, Boxing Source. I shut up for like 25 minutes. My apologies, but it's DT-Magnus podcast. Look, for the Zone, Canelo, bitch ass. What the fuck you want to call them? Redhead, Mexican, Irish, Guadalajarian,
Ginger.
If your bitch ass ain't trying to fight for the Zone to get the Zone, the views, and the market share it fucking needs to survive in America, then fuck you, Canelo.
Okay, well let's get Boxing Source because we don't want to bash on Canelo. You said we wasn't gonna do that. You did say we wasn't gonna bash.
I said I was gonna bring out hot shit, and I'm not gonna stop and kill the fans for what I'm gonna say. Look, the motherfucking Canelo dumbass knew what Dazin wanted. He knew that. De La Hoya knew what Dazin wanted. They was come to get a cement and foundation in America. And that bitch motherfucker fighting all those punk ass British motherfucking fighters, fuck all how you feel, ain't gonna get it. He gotta fight the top notch in the Americas. Period. And I'm done.
I'm gonna say this. When you say a bunch of shit, you eventually gonna say something right.
But the thing is, what 11 Americans? I'm asking this to the Boxing Source. Can you think of 11 American fighters that Canelo could have fought that was justified by the contract that he received?
He could have did a rematch versus.
There's only 3 stars in boxing.
Hold up, let Boxing Source answer the question. I asked Boxing Source. Let him answer.
No, and here's the thing with Canelo, right? Now, you had the fight against Jacobs. To me, I thought that was a good fight or a good matchup, right? Now, when it came up to his next fight, he was supposed to either fight Demetrius Andrade or the IBF mandatory at the time, Sergey Derevianchenko. He would have been like no problems to fight either one of those guys. Initially, when they tried to make the thing with the Andrade fight, it fell apart. It was like, okay, cool. Then they had the thing with Sergey Derevianchenko, who was an IBF mandatory. Canelo was like, okay, we can do that. Cool, no problem. Eric Gomez was saying, okay, we'll go ahead and we'll make that fight. When on the back end, they were like still saying, oh, he's still going to fight Kovalev. He's still going to fight Kovalev. So once that fight with Derevyanchenko fell apart and the IBF stripped Canelo, Canelo was like, what the fuck? You mean to tell me you stripped me of the IBF title because I'm not fighting Derevyanchenko? I never said that I didn't want to fight Derevyanchenko. What he wanted to do was keep all of the belts. And if he had to fight Derevyanchenko, he would do that. You can fight Kovalev later.
Look, I want to say this one time, and I'm not cutting you off, Boxing Source. I just want you go Boxing Source. You can continue in 10 seconds. I just want to say this. Since everybody keep muting my mic, I got 5G internet. I just fixed my shit. It is not me. Ain't nobody checking nobody else's mic. But I keep getting muted in this motherfucker, and it's pissing me off, man. But that's it, man. I'm gone, man.
Look, for the zone. Speaking for the zone, okay? This is real boxing. I mean, this is real business sense. Boxing is a business first, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And hold up. I just wanted to say one more thing before I'm gone. Shout out Arlen Constable and Lisa Bales. I'm coming home for Christmas.
and bring the motherfucking lawn stockings with you. Hey, speaking for the zone, speaking on behalf of the zone, look, don't act like Canelo and Golden Boy didn't know what the fucking the zone was trying to do. And they have not. Now, before I shit on Canelo
again,
I would say apologies. Canelo's only 3 fights in. And I said this in previous motherfucking videos that Canelo could probably be saving the finale for the end. But when you got the platform that was willing to give you $1/3 of $1 billion, let's put in perspective. $1/3 of $1 billion. Don't tell me you don't realize that you're gonna have to go ahead and do some shit that you may not be comfortable for, that your peg leg ass may not be ready for, to go ahead and deliver on. The zone signed Canelo because he was the face. They thought the face of boxing in America, and could bring him that shit. That's why the zone signed Canelo. And if Canelo and Golden Boy ain't trying to bring that shit, nothing's wrong with the zone. Let's keep it real. You dealing with
I can't fully agree with that.
Listen, first of all, who in the motherfucking world? Everybody, if you listen to boxing, you watching boxing, you hear every fighter around that weight class, wherever Canelo's hovering at, saying, "I want to fight Canelo," don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do.
So you mean to tell me it's going to be hard for Canelo to get these fights? And there's a clause in every fighter's contract, get the fighter the fight that he fucking wants. Get the fuck out of here, Boxing Square. Look, and you're a good dude, and I know we're supposed to be politically correct, and we ain't supposed to ruffle no fucking feathers. But real talk, for the boxing world right now,
that's a motherfucking lie, because I do it every day, all day.
We ain't supposed to, two hands, even though we do it. It hurts us, even though it makes us feel good at the same time.
But you the only nigga that worry about that shit. If you worried about conforming and fitting in, my nigga, that's not me. I ain't meant to be no fucking puppet. I ain't meant to be no motherfucking ice cream type nigga. I'm meant to be real. And I'm meant to be real with the real ones that's 10 toes. These corporate niggas is not real, bruh. These corporate niggas ain't real. We real. We stars. We shine. Fuck them niggas.
The whole business ain't real. The whole business
Facts.
isn't real.
That's why I said, nigga, fuck them niggas. We stars. We shine. We the wave. Fuck that.
Look, the business.
Shout out Lisa Bales. I'm coming home for motherfucking Christmas, New Year's, and I see you on Easter.
That's right. I hope you got some macaroni and cheese waiting for you. And I hope you have the macaroni and cheese and yams waiting for you. The business ain't real.
Don't forget about the potato salad, babe.
Well,
ain't real. So we're talking about the business ain't real right now. Have we not noticed that? So the business ain't real right now. So you motherfucker adapt. That's what you do as a motherfucking man in this world. To do what you got to get done. You adapt. Period. Or you get motherfucking put in the ditch. I'd rather be heard, adapt to be heard, than be on that shit to get completely shut the fuck down. Because believe it or not,
Man, hold up, motherfucker. I'd rather stand for something. I'd rather stand for something than die for nothing. If I get clipped talking the motherfucking truth, I'd rather get clipped talking the truth than conforming for some fuck niggas that don't give a fuck about me or you. What is you saying right now?
Fucking entertainment business. There's nothing real about it. So it's all fake.
It's an entertainment business to you, but I speak from my heart, so I don't give a fuck about no entertainment.
It's to everybody who got the money. That's what you don't understand.
So you was talking about Canelo, right?
So yeah, what you got, Source?
DT3, you brought up the question in reference to Canelo as far as like this deal is concerned, and we compared it to the Floyd deal. Does Canelo have anybody, I don't care if it's in the U.S. or outside the U.S., does he have anybody that he could fight to where that fight itself is worth enough for DAZN to have that particular deal they have with Canelo?
Yo, let me say something real quick. Mick Hennessy, don't be saying nobody's jealous of me at any way. There's no divide and conquer in this shit. So don't try to
and see, that's how niggas get it twisted, because these niggas right here is my brothers. I shed blood and I show all the love in the world for these niggas. Now, when we go with each other, we go with each other because that's what we do. We spar. We sharpen our swords with the truth. We speak the truth with each other. If you can't talk to another grown man with integrity, I'm sorry, that's your life, my nigga. If
you can't sugarcoat
we don't do that over here. We don't do that over here.
Peace. Right, repeat.
We big each other up and we break each other down and build each other up. Fuck is you saying? When it's necessary.
To answer the question, mainly, I mean, Canelo to me, I feel like it's his fault, and at the same time, I feel it's DAZN fault too. The reason why I say it's Canelo's fault is because the same way we are holding Terrence Crawford accountable for not using social media, the same way like Gary Russell Jr. and even the Charlo brothers are using social media to promote fights.
Canelo think he's bigger than that.
But you can't be bigger than that, because social media is in a sense you might as well get it right. And I'm with you on that. But I'm saying like that's like him saying he bigger than boxing. There's no way you can ever be bigger than the sport that in a sense made you the man that you are today.
I agree.
So with that being said, there's no way that Canelo is bigger than DAZN, because Canelo still needed DAZN to give. I just think DAZN tried to do too much. They gave him a $300 and something million contract, and they didn't have 11 opponents for him. They was like, yeah, we'll give you 300 and something million for 11 opponents that we have.
They're not supposed to. But DT, they're not supposed to have the opponents for him. It's promotion.
But then that's on De La Hoya. So that means De La Hoya knew the contract before it was sent to Canelo, and even De La Hoya didn't have 11 opponents, 11 top-tier opponents that would be.
But at the end of the day,
Canelo.
At the end of the day, Canelo has a clause in his contract saying, "This is the fight I want. Make it happen."
So that means, so basically, with that being said, if that's contract, that means the reason why Canelo didn't fight the top dudes is because of Canelo. Ain't got shit to do.
You goddamn right.
You
goddamn right.
If he's in the contract saying I want to control this, the reason why Canelo ain't fight nobody is because of Canelo.
Yes. That's bottom line is the fighter. When you
here's the thing,
Canelo
is stuck.
I just said it a minute ago. Everybody's trying to fight fucking Canelo. Canelo has the option of fighting anybody he fucking wants. Is that fact?
Fact.
So who the fuck is it belong to?
He's still stuck.
Can I conscrew the monotony a little bit and just say something? I was just saying this in the live. I was just saying something in the live the other night about Canelo. I said, people got to understand and accept it for what it is. Canelo is not going to get beat unless you knock him out. Period. Because he's a necessary piece to the game. How many superstars does boxing really have right now that can move the needle? If Canelo get knocked off, that fucks up all of the money market for America for real. They don't have nobody making no money like that in America. There's nobody. Who we got? Manny Pacquiao going out the door.
No. We talking about people that thread the needle, right? We talking about the three fighters that
Anthony Joshua, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo. So Canelo can't lose in the eyes of the business unless he gets knocked off physically, because they need that money to keep coming in. Boxing is hurting.
No,
Boxing
bro.
is truly hurting in the star department.
You got to understand. Hey, let me say this, Two Hands. If you watch past great fights, Canelo losing could be a great thing for boxing.
I agree with that. I'm not denying that, Myron. I'm just breaking up the monotony with another hypothetical look at what's going on here.
Okay, what I'm saying, bro, it's more money in a rematch.
Yeah. We just saw that with Andy Ruiz.
Absolutely.
That. It's more
Absolutely,
money
but let's be serious here.
Let me just finish.
Anthony Joshua can go anywhere in the world and fight any fight and make $85 million.
Can't talk over each other.
I'm not.
You got the floor. What I'm saying is, Canelo losing when nobody thought he would lose is a shock and a jolt to boxing. So the rematch is bigger. You know what I'm saying? Just like it was with Sugar Ray and so many other fights. Sugar Ray versus fucking, the Hands of Steel. All the other great fights. The rematch in a fight that nobody thought he would lose is going to be bigger than that. And now his fame is bigger than that to make the fight more. Go ahead. Don't cut Q-An. Go ahead, Two. Go ahead, Two.
Look, man, there's only look. The dude is precious in a sport that has been dying for several years. Period. He precious in a sport that's been dying for several years, a sport that's been dying for stars, a sport that has taken its own time and has made its business model by balancing around fighting weak as opposition and trying to pimp money and stretch the money out. Canelo is that guy. So I see, like, yo, that's what I'm saying. You got to knock this nigga off if you want him to go. But of course, if a person, you're not gonna just go get a draw and expect the nigga to love him. Yeah, you're gonna get another fucking rematch, but Canelo's still gonna be there. Canelo is always the choice option. He's always the choice option in a situation to where you gotta pull from a needle in a fucking haystack to find a star. That's just what the situation is. Anthony Joshua is an anomaly. He's an anomaly. We got to accept that. Anthony Joshua is just different. He's a completely different figure than anything we've seen in a long time in boxing. Canelo did something different that we ain't seen. Like, Canelo caught the wave right after Floyd Mayweather. But they were building him right before that to be that star. They've been building Canelo to be this star. So I'm just saying, they're not going to stop that train from some fuck nigga that can't speak the language.
And you know
they're not going to stop that train for some fuck nigga that don't got the charisma.
Two hands. You know what Canelo's trying to do? Here it is. Canelo does not want to fight anybody that is really, really, really desperate to fight him. And you know why? Because Canelo don't want to fight nobody that truly do not fear him.
Yo, I'm not taking that away from you, and nor is that even my argument. I'm saying this. I'm leaning off of what you're saying. I'm segueing, Myron. What I'm saying is, if you look at what I just said and what you just said, segueing off of my conversation, it's basically the same fucking thing, just conveyed in a different way. Because it's the same thing conveyed in a completely different way. If I would have conveyed it that way and you would have stated what I said, it's still bridging the same fucking thing.
Same thing.
So Canelo don't want to fight nobody that don't like kind of fear him or don't see him at all. Is what I see. And from what I've seen, that's Boo Andre, that's Billy Joe Saunders, and whoever that perhaps cannot be bought out. But Canelo got a problem on his hands. Because you know what? Real talk, Canelo is not going to have public opinion on his side doing this whole fucking shit.
He can't win this match. He don't have him. His money ain't long enough.
He wasn't going to win it either way.
He's not going to win either way. That was
like boxing source facts. This dude money ain't like you trying to go the legal route with a fucking entity that is worth over fucking like what $7.1 billion that just got in revenue just this year alone.
7.1 billion.
No. Do you know what people? Do you know what rich people do? They drag you through litigation just to break your motherfucking ass. They ain't even worried about court. They just want to break you, nigga. That shit is like that's like getting off for them just to see you broke. So go ahead, Canelo, play the motherfucking games if you want to.
And he don't know. Like the thing with Black Planet, he is like one of the biggest media guys in the world. So he's gonna have money on top of money.
Let me say this right now. With all respect to Canelo, I think he wants to smoke, but Canelo got to be pushed as a baby born. He got to be pushed and disrespected to the degree for him to go ahead and be mentally ready to take on the smoke. If you understand,
you want to know what? Thank you for saying that, because it goes just beyond Canelo. You want to know what I believe? I feel like all of boxing needs to be bullied. All of boxing needs to go back to the bad guy and the good guy. You need to go back to, they gotta have villains, man. There's too many niggas conforming and falling in line with the politics. You got to call them out if you want them in the ring. Every fucking era in boxing, there were savages that made the fights happen, no matter how ugly they had to make another person look to get them in the ring. If you wanted a champion in there, you ain't care if you had to dog the nigga mama. You gonna get him in there.
No different than wrestling. But I feel like Canelo made a mistake on both ends, because before he even got this whole thing with the zone, he pretty much had the fights, the quote unquote challenging fights that he's supposed to be having here on the zone. He had the fights with Miguel Cotto, Austin Trout. You had the thing with Mayweather, in Golovkin and all of those other fights. But here on the back end, going up against like the Jacobs, Kovalev was not really a good matchup or anything. So him fighting a Billy Joe Saunders, that would be a little bit interesting, but is that going to move the needle here in the States? I don't think so. He was about to fight Billy Joe Saunders in May, and the whole thing with the COVID-19 kind of like put that off to the side. But like someone said earlier, maybe Canelo Alvarez have to lose a fight in order for more interest to be in Canelo Alvarez for the rematch and for them to make more money out of the deal. Otherwise, I really don't see nothing.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then I gotta get up out of here. It's bedtime for my babies. But I'm gonna say this before we dip out. I think, like I said, based on information, articles that's been put out, I really have come to believe that the reason why Canelo is in the position that he's in is because of Canelo. I think he should have sought it through. I think before he signed on the dotted line and he saw that it was 11 different opponents, he should have made sure that he had 11 opponents for sure, that he knew he was going to fight. Because based on what's happening right now, he didn't have 11 for sure opponents that he knew he was going to fight to make this money. So I think in the words of my boy Two Hands on his channel, man, congratulations. You played yourself, and that's how I feel pertaining to in the situation.
DT3.
What do you think about Myron before we get up out of here?
Let's finish this out on Devin Haney and Gary Russell Jr. because we've been talking about an hour on fucking Canelo. How y'all feel about Devin Haney, Gary Russell Jr. fight?
What are your closing thoughts on it? Closing thoughts.
Seriously, I'm not even going to stunt because I said the other night, I like the motherfucker. I like it. I just, it's tall, man. Even though that kid young, it's the young lion versus the longest reigning champion, man. To me,
he's only moving
like
up
what they said.
Pounds.
It's a passing of the torch fight, but still, bro, it's like I just don't like that 2-weight bump. I've never liked it. I've never liked it, and history shows me why I don't like it. But I'm saying I like Gary Russell. I love Devin Haney. I love them both. So whatever they do, I'm going to support them, man. I just got to get my opinion on it, man. That's it.
That's peace. That's peace.
What's your thoughts on that, Boxing Source? Closing thoughts.
I mean, to me, it's like basically the best fight that Devin Haney can make to this particular juncture of his career.
Agree.
For Gary Russell, I mean, he said, multiple times, he doesn't care if it's, 140, 147 or whatever it is. As long as he makes it in between that weight, the fights will go for him. So it doesn't matter who he fights. He just wants to fight. And so, for me, I just think it's going to be a good matchup all around. And, like Two Hands says, I like both guys. I do ride with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. because he's like one of the most frequent guests on the podcast. So, and he's from the DMV, you know what I mean? So I just want to see that fight go down, man.
What you think, Myron? Closing thoughts on Gary Russell and Devin Haney.
He beat the fuck out of Devin Haney. That's what the fuck I think. You know what I'm saying? DC all the fucking way.
All right.
DMV. And we can finish up on Canelo and Canelo.
Before we end this shit off, I got to say this and I got to say it live, man.
What's up?
I got to say this and I got to say it live. Okay.
But Devin Haney's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
I've been on this trip. I've been on this whole fucking trip about fuck them other dudes. We got to focus on us. This is a prime example of why we got to focus on us and we got to consistently bring this shit to the people because look what the fuck we do, man. Look what the fuck we do, man, when we together, man. Look what we do, man. Look at your face right now. You know it. Like, come on, man. The people know it, man. Man, look, it's not the same, bro. We got to make this. We got to keep this shit going, man. This is MBBC forever, man. Fuck them other niggas, man. We just got. I agree. We got to do this, man.
I know what you. I love the
chat. And I know what you say. And Lisa, I'm coming home for Christmas, and I see y'all in between the holidays.
While we keep fighting each other.
I'm coming home for Christmas, and I see y'all in between the holidays.
It was like we was like going at it like family reunions at the cookout. You know, that's how.
No. I think it's motherfucking thing like how we talk. They think how we talk.
Love, man.
Fighting this shit.
Yeah, this is
shit be like
right here, man.
Come and gone and shit in like 1 minute.
On God, boom. Was we not talking about we needed to get this shit popping?
We been talking about
weeks ago. It's done. It's done. I work 2 fucking jobs. I'm willing to make this shit happen every motherfucking day. I don't care what time of day, what time of fucking night. Let's get it, man.
Let's get it.
Let's get
so,
it, man. I wipe the crackers out my eyes, the drool off the side of my lip, and blow motherfucking Arlette and Lisa a kiss, and let's get it, man.
That's for sure. So, as always, man, appreciate everybody for coming through. You already know DT-Magnus. Already told y'all we was coming back with one. I appreciate the boxing story for coming on, man. Thank you, man. We'll love to have you again.
Okay.
As always.
Hey, and to everybody.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Everybody. Peace and
as
peace.
Always.
Take us out, Toos.
Peace and peace.
As always. It costs you nothing. Pay a nigga no mind.
And say peace and pugilism, nigga.
MBBC
say
forever.
Peace and pugilism.
Peace and pugilism, man.
Peace and pugilism.
Oh, squad.
No, but
and I'm coming home for Christmas.